Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we will be hopefully going through a unboxing, bit of a time lapse, and a review of the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter Microfighter. And this is set 75363 and has recently been released around the Q3 part of 2023. And the Mandalorian being the Mandalorian, is coming out of the LEGO Star Wars subline. So I've picked this up in a few other Star Wars kits that I would have hinted at on a community post. So I thought best to start getting through all these builds, and because of the size, I thought I would actually try and do a time lapse. But before we do that, front of the box of the Microfighter version of the N1 Starfighter. So obviously it's loosely based off the N1, but is obviously not the exact N1, mainly because Mando and Grogu are sitting effectively on top of it. But either way, it does look very cool. You can definitely see where its inspiration has come from. That's the front. In terms of the back, so another shot of the N1. In fact, that's probably more from the rear view. Grogu, Mando. There will be the nice little shooting gimmick that I quite enjoy seeing through various sets. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. It feels like it's equivalent to like a really good quality polybag, but we'll see in a minute. So that was the box. I will open up the box and we can actually see what's in it quickly, and then I'll get through the time lapse. Well, I'll build in real time. The video will be in time lapse. And with everything out of the box, we have a nice little manual, which is obviously a bit more than what we would see in a poly bag. Front of the manual, and we'll see the bags in a minute. Obviously putting the two minifigs together and then going through the build of the N1 Starfighter. So definitely a few steps involved, which is good. It's definitely not going to be a done and dusted within 3 minutes type of build. Definitely over the halfway mark by the time you get the middle of the booklet, but you're already at step 19. So I think the last polybag build I did finished around step 25, give or take. So step 25 for this little build, still going. So I'll just flick through it really quickly now. So 37 steps to basically do the Starfighter. Just a quick step on how to use the little gimmick, the final set, and some other Star Wars sets that are currently available. So from the preview, well, the community post preview / teaser, one of which is this little Microfighter, the 3 Star Wars mechs. I'm hoping to do them as time lapse as well, but I'm expecting them not to be quick and easy. The Spider Mech has yet to be released, at least here anyway, and I do believe I have this set somewhere. When I picked up something else, I can't remember now. It was a while ago, or maybe I don't have it. Either way, current range Star Wars sets. Parts list. Quick look at the bags. So they're not numbered, so we'll have one small bag here, and then one larger bag here. You can actually see Grogu floating around in there. Very interesting little Grogu minifig, but that's okay. So that's pretty much what's going to be involved. So now that we know how everything was originally packaged, basically I'm going to take everything out and I'm going to build it, and then we can have a quick little review of it and see how it all goes. And with the time lapse now finished, so obviously I've managed to have a look at it when I stopped the recording of the time lapse. So that was about 12 minutes worth of build time. Now I did have a little area or point that I realized I did a little bit of boo-boo, but that's okay. So the manual won't need it anymore, but that was easy and straightforward to follow, as with all LEGO sets. Before we get too involved with the N1, leftover pieces, unsurprising. So there's an extra blaster, little latch for the little gimmick. Majority of the spare bits will be just these little single stud things and things like that. Although technically 2 of these are just basically refills for the little gimmicky guns. But that's pretty stock standard for LEGO leftovers. I mean, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, technically 11 pieces left over and 2 on the side. So that's that. Are we going to look at that ever again? Probably not. Now, the N1. So I do have Mando and Grogu currently sitting / standing on the N1. So the N1 from the front, the side, the back, and yes, this is where I did have a bit of a boo-boo. The other side, from the bottom, which is fairly clean, and from the top, and then a bit of an angle. So it's obviously a very heavily stylized version of the N1. I would dare say it's the equivalent of an SD from the whole Gundam side of things. But you can definitely feel where you can definitely see where the inspiration back to the original scale of the N1 is. So overall, you can definitely tell what it is. Colors obviously help. So in terms of the colors, as I just mentioned it, so it's predominantly a lighter shade of grey with some darker shade of grey. We do have a bit of yellow just to add a little bit of colour, and a little bit of this blue primarily on thruster ports and things like that. Hence why I realised late in the piece that this should not have been green, it should have been blue, because the green was pretty much exclusive for the main weapons. So definitely, from a microfighter perspective, it's done very well. I suddenly wish I picked up I think the Razor Crest had one. Now I feel retrospectively I wish I picked one up, but oh well. Them's the breaks. There isn't really much articulation on the actual microfighter itself. I mean, the turbines do spin because they're not really locked into place. So, you know, that's a nice little bit of movement, but it's purely a novelty, to be honest. I don't think the turbine should really be moving, or should they? It's been a while since I watched Mando, and I can actually safely say I'm actually caught up with Mando. I did watch it, funnily enough. So that is that. So that's have a quick look at the 2 minifigs. Actually, if I can take out Mando. Oh no, had to take off his helmet. We'll come back to these 2 anyway. There's the N1 when there is no one in it. Well, that actually doesn't look too bad. I think it's just really convenient having them both on it so you don't lose them, but even if you had them unequipped, even the N1 on its own does look very nice. So that's the N1. Start with little Grogu. So little Grogu, basically a small body and a head. Yes, the head will be able to move around quite freely, and that is basically it. Grogu is also pretty much just a single stud that he can basically stand on. So good that he can move his head, but that's about all he can do as a minifig. Or a microfig, either. Now, as for Mando, so he does come equipped with 1 blaster. He could have 2 because there is a spare one. So that is Mando from the front. Mando from the back. He does have a bit of a Boba Fett style backpack, although technically a lot of them had that same backpack. And a shot from one side and the other side. Not sure why his body is more... Well, actually, no, I do understand why it's more brown. It's just that there's not a lot of silver detailing to really help make things stand out. A bit of a close-up, if I can, on his helmet. And because we did see it, there is his actual minifig face. Now, it's only one-sided. There's no back face. It's just the one single face, given that technically, at all times, he will usually be wearing the helmet. And in terms of the gun, minifig being minifig, has all the standard stock areas of articulation that a minifig has. I won't go into too much detail about it because it's stock standard level of articulation. Now, can you, or do I need to, you know what, I'll just put you back in the end one. Since you're going to be difficult to Mando. Grogu, you can also go in the back. I will admit, I do like how it's aligned to the N1 where Mando's at the front and Grogu's in the little section in the back. Okay, so putting that there. So I've had a look at the colors, the lack of articulation the actual microfighter has, the two minifigs. What are my thoughts on this little microfighter? Now, I quite liked when Mando switched from, not that he intended to, from the Razor Crest to the N1, especially the colors. And it's to no surprise that I do have the N1 set on me as well, because it's my preferred preference of vehicle for Mando compared to the Razor Crest. So for me, I didn't really hesitate much when picking this one up. I know it's a microfighter, I know it's simple, but it's nice to have, and as I've demonstrated in real time, it was about a 12-minute build. So that was 12 minutes where I was nicely preoccupied with something, just coincidentally being recorded. If you're a big fan of the Star Wars Lego sets, you'll probably grab it. If you're liking all these little microfighter sets, because they are nice little sets, nothing too heavy, nothing too light. So they're nice little things to build, especially if you want something to tie you over until you can get a larger N1. It's nice to have the two minifig inclusions. So overall, price point wasn't too bad either. Well, actually no, I take that back. It did feel a little bit pricey for its price point, given that I recently did a, I think it was about a $6 poly bag, and that had about 25 odd steps in it. So it does lean towards a bit more of a pricey side, and even then I got mine at a more cheaper retail price. But that's not necessarily Lego's fault, that's just the economy. We'll leave it there. Don't need to downward spiral into that conversation. But yes, overall I did quite enjoy this little N1 Starfighter microfighter set. It's a fun little thing to build, was quite relaxing. Visually does look very nice. I do quite like that they've stayed relatively true to the colours. Still don't know why the yellow is there, but it's not that bad. And yeah, it's just going to be a nice little display piece to put on the shelf. Shouldn't take up too much space up until I actually build the proper N1. Pretty much leave the video there. I don't think there's too much more to add. Obviously, if you're not a big fan of Star Wars, Mando, and anything like that, naturally the set will be a, I don't want to say definitive pass, but you'll be less inclined to grab one. So, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Thank you very much for watching this trio video with the unboxing, time-lapse, and review of the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter Microfighter Set 75363. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and if this is something that you kind of like and would like to see more on the channel, feel free to put that in the commentary. This is actually a bit of an experiment to see how well it goes based on my experience from the polybag. So who knows, this could become a bit more of a regular thing, up to a point. With that all being said, all of that does help support the channel, the likes, the comments and everything. So yeah, keep supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, which is in the description below. It is the same handle as the YouTube channel as well, if you didn't want to go looking for the link. With that all said, stay safe, take care, and I will catch you all in a future video, which may or may not be Lego, could be something Playmo related, could be something Transformers related, could be anything on the channel. Until the next time, see ya.